Persona 5 was the game that skyrocketed the Persona series' popularity outside of Japan, but it was Persona 3 that defined what a modern game in the franchise could be, breaking even further away from the Shin Megami Tensei spin-off status that gave birth to Persona 1 and 2. Persona 3 cemented several important gameplay features that have now come to define the series, such as the calendar. For those revisiting this game, and those experiencing it for the very first time, here's everything you need to know about Persona 3 Reload. Persona 3 takes place in 2009 Japan, where a period of time known as the Dark Hour occurs every day thanks to the experiments of the Kirijo Corporation. Most people in Japan during the Dark Hour are turned into coffins and are unaware of its existence, but a select few people are. In order to study the Dark Hour and face off against the monstrous shadows it creates, a group of students at G High form SEES, or Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad. During the Dark Hour, the high school turns into a twisted tower called Tartarus, and with the help of personas, SEES explores its halls. As described in the instruction manual of the original game, personas are, quote, an entirely different personality that emerges when a person is confronted with something outside of this world. They are the character's psyche physically manifested. Since the release of the original Persona 3 in 2006, the game has already received several revisions before Reload. Persona 3 FES was a director's cut release of the game, and Persona 3 Portable was a port of the title for the PlayStation Portable handheld. Both renditions added new content to the game, but that content won't be a part of Persona 3 Reload, which is simply adapting the original game, so features like the epilogue of FES and a female playable protagonist are absent. In 2019, after wrapping development on Persona 5 Royal, the director's cut of Persona 5, a majority of the team working on that title were shifted over to remaking Persona 3. P Studio, the developer at publisher Atlus, a subsidiary of Sega, wanted to use Persona 3 as a testbed to build a game in Unreal Engine rather than the proprietary engine that the studio had been using on previous titles. The subtitle, Reload, is in reference to the Evoker, a pistol that the characters in the game use to summon their personas. While the game will feature new and expanded content, as mentioned previously, bonus content from FES and Portable will not be included in the game, although additions to the main story that those releases provided will be. In 2018, Persona 3 got a spin-off rhythm game titled Dancing in Moonlight, which was the first time many of the characters and elements from Persona 3 were rendered in high definition. As such, many of the assets from Dancing in Moonlight were used as a base for Persona 3 Reload's models. The core of Persona 3 Reload's gameplay is mostly similar to that of the original game. Players will take control of a nameless high school student and will not only participate in turn-based combat with personas, but will also attempt to improve their social dynamics with other characters. Persona 3 has a calendar structure that, as previously mentioned, is a defining trait of modern Persona games. During the day, players can mostly pick and choose which activities they participate in, and during the night, they will explore the dungeon of Tartarus and battle with their personas. The player can acquire and wield multiple personas and can even create new ones by visiting the Velvet Room, an alternate dimension that is present throughout the entire franchise. Persona attacks are split into physical and elemental, each costing HP and SP respectively. During combat, if an enemy is knocked down, the player is granted an extra turn, and if all enemies are knocked down, the player can facilitate a devastating all-out attack with their team. Combat grants the player experience points, which they can use to level up personas, improve their stats, and grant new abilities. The social simulation aspect of the game feeds into personas as well. As the player spends time with other characters and improves their relationships with them, that social link will increase in rank, unlocking additional available personas for use. Negative interactions can also decrease a social link's rank as well, although they can't permanently break like they could in the original release. A bunch of additions and improvements have been made to Persona 3's original gameplay in Reload as well, such as the ability to run and a more detailed and intricate map. New activities are available to participate in. Participating in these activities will boost the player's stats, which in turn will unlock new potential interactions they can have with other characters. Persona 3 Reload will release for both previous and current generation consoles, minus the Nintendo Switch, and PC on February 2nd, 2024. The standard edition will cost $70, and pre-ordering will net you several background music tracks from Persona 4 Golden. The Digital Deluxe and Digital Deluxe Premium editions cost $80 and $100 respectively. While both include a digital artbook and soundtrack, only the Premium edition includes the DLC pack, which includes cosmetics based on other Persona games, as well as the background music and a select amount of Personas from Persona 5 Royal. The content in the DLC pack can be purchased separately. A physical collector's edition is also available, retailing at $199. It includes the DLC pack, a physical artbook, and soundtrack on CD, and a statue of Aegis, a character from the game that fans consider to be its mascot. And that's everything you need to know about Persona 3 Reload. Check out our recent preview and sit tight for our upcoming review of the game right here on GameSpot.